If you sounded off about the New Brunswick government's COVID restrictions during the pandemic, the government was paying closer attention to you than you may have thought. We recently told you about this 2021 complaint by the then head of the RCMP in New Brunswick to the province's Ombud. Larry Tremblay was objecting to a plan to scoop up personal data from 911 calls. That plan was later modified to address RCMP concerns. But Tremblay's complaint, obtained by CBC News, mentioned other provincial initiatives that he said showed a total lack of understanding of privacy rights. The letter says the province used data that came from mobile phones, records of when they pinged different cell phone towers, to monitor the movements of New Brunswickers between provincial health zones during COVID restrictions in early 2021. Tremblay also says the province monitored the political views of people online who were expressing discontent with Higgs government policies at a time when anti-mask and anti-vaccine protests were starting to pop up. The monitoring of people's movements began the same week the then Premier said this.
That's why the enforcement is going to ramp up, and we're going to become a whole lot more serious about people that are not following the rules.
Tremblay said this scooping up of personal information was a privacy breach, and people who felt that COVID restrictions were too severe are not surprised.
So the concern is obviously that normalizes the government having knowledge about your private lives.
The department told us in a statement the movement data came from the Public Health Agency of Canada and was aggregated to not identify individuals and was not used to punish people who violated COVID rules.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting very close to a threshold here of, infringing too far into people's lives, and that the data that people are generating, their own data, is being used against them.
In 2022, a House of Commons committee looked at the use of phone location data during the pandemic. Most experts agreed the data were anonymized so people couldn't be identified, but told MPs Ottawa should be transparent.
So at the very least, the government should have provided notice to the public saying, this is what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. We want to track your movements, in this COVID pandemic world.
We could not find any public reference where New Brunswick's Department of Public Safety provided that kind of public notice about its tracking program.
Behind me, Andrew Easton, Assistant Deputy Minister for Security and Emergencies.
We asked for interviews with the current Public Safety Minister and his top security official, but they didn't make themselves available. The department provided us with this 2018 security policy document, which speaks of a duty of care to New Brunswickers on security, though it also says that duty of care is not established in law.